Recently, someone that had seen my show asked me a very unusual question. They said, "What else do you do besides computer train?" And I thought that was a very unusual question because at the start of the show it says, "Brought to you by Professor Russ Myers." So in today's show, I'm going to bring you a little bit into my world, and we're going to deviate a little bit from our normal computer topics. So hop aboard and join me on this special edition of Computer Train.
It's time for Computer Train, the weekly TV program that trains you how to use your computer. With your host, El Paso Community College faculty member Russ Myers.
As I mentioned, someone asked me, what else do I do here at Community College? Well, I do quite a bit actually, and my major focus here, of course, is I'm a professor in the information technology field, which lends itself to my show Computer Train. So I wanted to take the opportunity of this show to kind of advertise a little bit more about what we do here at the college. One of the things we're doing right now is we're going through this big marketing push, and essentially everybody, all hands on deck to make sure we market what we do here and give a better sense to the community about what happens. I'm going to, of course, personally track it towards my degree plans and show you what we do, but I'll give you general information about lots of things. So in today's show, what we're going to look at is we're going to talk about education, of course, and there's kind of two major ways we can get education here at Community College. One, of course, is you actually go through a degree plan and you're trying to get an associate's degree. The other way is you can go through what we call continuing education, and then I'm going to describe, that's just a wide variety of classes and topics that you can take. All right, one of the things, if you notice that I'm wearing today is I decided to wear my glasses. I think this is the first show that I've actually worn glasses. So I do wear glasses, but 90% of the time I wear contacts. And in my previous show, I showed you this little technology called Bitmoji, and one of the things that you do is you can have basically an emoticon but shaped like you. So I'm going to just take a quick second to show you what it looks like. I showed you in the last show, but now I actually have glasses. Okay, so if you remember, if you're using Google Chrome and you install the Bitmoji app, over here on the far right next to the address bar is you get a little bit, an icon where you can click and get to Bitmojis. So I'm going to click on mine. And one of the nice things is here, it's not just about entering it here in an email or something. You can put this anywhere. So for instance, if I wanted this in Microsoft Word, I find the one I want. I right-click on the Bitmoji I want. In that menu, I'm going to say Copy Image. Notice that you can also save it for uses in other places. So I'm going to copy that. Then I'm going to come down here to Microsoft Word, and we'll go ahead and paste it in there. Okay, so now if we look at my Bitmoji, you can see pretty close, now including the glasses. And my kids set this up, so I think they did a pretty good job. All right, so let's get into what we were talking about. So we're talking about degrees and continuing education. So let's take a look at a couple of things first, make sure we understand the difference. So continuing education is also called lifelong learning. Most colleges and universities have it. El Paso Community College has it. UTEP has it. Other cities, they have lifelong learning. And what we're trying to do is teach a wide variety of topics there. Okay, first thing though to understand is these are usually non-credit. Credit means you're getting this hourly credit that's going towards getting a degree. Here at Community College, we have associate's degrees. UTEP has bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees. Okay, so make sure you understand these are usually non-credit. Wide variety of topics here. Computers, cooking, children's college, personal enrichment. So I want to take a moment to show you where you can find that on the college website. It's quite easy. So here we are at the college's main website. And right away you have a link for our catalog and schedule. So this is a really important link, gives you a lot of information about a particular university that you're looking to get into. Okay, so we have colleges here, and one of the things you see is we have the class schedules. Okay, so not only do we have the actual credit class schedule, so this is for the spring of next year, but we also have the schedules for continuing education. Their spring one hasn't come out yet, so they still have the fall one going on. And I just wanted to show you some of the topics that you can look at. All right, so if we look at this class listing, you name it, we essentially have it. It could be computers, it could be about cooking. One of the things we do here at the college through our Advanced Technology Center is there's a lot of professions out there that you have to go back to school and get not recertified, but make sure your certifications are up to date. Like I have a friend of mine who's a master plumber. I think about every 18 months he has to come take a class and learn about any new guidelines or any new rules, OSHA, anything like that. So about every year and a half, 2 years, he has to come take a class. But there's all sorts of things. Here's a very popular one we have, Children's College, all sorts of topics there. And this is also continuing ed is where we teach our driver education classes, which is something my daughter recently went through. They have programs set up through the high schools, and they take driver's education at the high school, but it's through El Paso Community College, our instructor, our cars, for things like that. Okay, so you name it, they're everything you can think of. One of the nice things about the catalog, usually when I'm doing this kind of thing, I'm more of a paper, you know, I like to hold things. So my newspaper, I still get it delivered. A lot of people don't, they read it online, but I like it delivered. But one of the nice things about the catalog here at the college in this new system we're going through is now, if you want to go see that particular topic, before of course you have to leaf through and leaf back, now you don't have to do that. These are actually links. So if I want to go see these programs about the community college, I don't have to leaf through it. These are all links and I can click on it and it'll take me right to that site. Okay, so here's all the information about the Children's College, all things that they can take. All right, so that's not the side that I teach in, however. I don't teach in the continuing education side. By the way, if you have experience in some of these topics, we're constantly looking for instructors for this type. So if you have experience, you might want to get online and apply, and maybe that you'll be teaching here. The side that I teach on is the degree program side. This is commonly called the credit side. Okay, so you're trying to achieve credit, which will eventually lead to an associate's degree. The state of Texas has passed some laws recently that affected us. Each class is 3 hours in general. Okay, so we meet 48 hours. So some of the degree plans were getting a little large. I think we had one a few years ago that was even 72 hours. So the state of Texas passed some legislation called the 60-hour rule, is what we refer to it, so that all associate degree plans throughout the state of Texas must be 60 hours or less. There are certain classes or disciplines, like a medical discipline or something like that, where you need advanced certification. Those can be a little bit more, but any of the regular degree programs, they have to be 60 hours. Each class is usually about 3 hours. So that's going to lend us, you'll take about 20 classes to get an associate's degree. Okay, so not too bad, 20 classes to get an associate's degree. It goes pretty quick. All right, so one of the things you have to understand on the side, though, on the credit side, is course credit may transfer to a university. And what we're trying to do there, and the state of Texas has really helped out there, is we're trying to prevent students from taking the same topic over and over again. Originally, if you took a history class here at community college a long time ago, if you transferred and you went to UTEP, a lot of times certain classes, they would make you take them again. All right, so we've gotten rid of that topic a little bit. And the way they have done that is they've come up in the state of Texas called the core curriculum. Okay, and UTEP or University of Texas Austin, they don't get to decide if they take these credits. So it's mandated by law now. In the past it wasn't, and depending on the university you went to, they may or may not have taken them. Okay, so these automatically transfer. So I want to just describe that quickly. If you were to come here and take classes through ours, we have the core curriculum. All right, and again, this doesn't affect all degree plans. I'll describe in a second. It doesn't affect my group too much. But essentially they've come up with what they call these component areas. And then what each college does is decide which classes go in that component area. And of course there's a lot of similarity across the state of Texas, but they're not exactly the same. However, if you meet the requirements, for instance, in the communication group, so every college has a communication group, if you've already met the requirement there, 6 hours, it doesn't matter what you took here, it has to transfer to their communication area wherever you're going, UTEP, University of Texas at Austin, Texas A&M. They have to accept those 6 hours if you took our 6 hours there. So it really streamlines education as opposed to when I got my college degree. Now we can go to community colleges where we save money, which I'll show you, and then all of those degrees, those hours will transfer and you don't have to take them over and over and over again. You'll notice one thing that we're working on in our core curriculum, we do not have a computer class. That is a travesty in my opinion, so I'm working diligently to get that changed. In today's world, you need computer skills, as I've demonstrated on these shows. A lot of people think they have the skills, but they really don't. So we're trying to get 3 hours into that core curriculum where all students can take it, and then that could transfer also. All right, so core curriculum has really helped students out, streamline these education. So here at community college we have different types of associate's degrees, and again a lot of this information you got to delve into the catalog, but essentially what we offer here, they're all associates. So one is Associate of Arts, one is Associate of Sciences, and then the area that I'm in, Associate of Applied Science. And what we're trying to do there is what, kind of like your old, the vocational classes at high school. We have degree plans with kind of skill-based courses where you learn a specific skill, such as computers, and hopefully you can take that skill and get more immediate employment, as opposed to other degrees where you might need a more advanced degree. We kind of give you enough education to get you in that door, get you at least started at the ground level, and then you can work up from there, maybe apply for an advanced degree, go to UTEP, things like that. So that's where I teach, Associate of Applied Science. Okay? Along the way there, even a little bit faster, is you have 1-year certificates. Now remember, a lot of people think that's a great idea, which I do also, as long as you're within the understanding that it's less education, of course, so the number of jobs you would qualify for might be lower and less. Okay? But again, what we're trying to do is get you in that door and get you working and receiving a paycheck as quickly as possible. Then you can decide what you do after that. All right, so again, here I'm going to do a little marketing, a little advertising for my particular area. So I teach in the information technology, IT, and we have the AAS, which I just described, Associate of Applied Science degree. It's going to be 60 hours, which are 20 classes. Okay, we have various degrees. One is we have a computer programming degree. I haven't really addressed computer programming here on the show because it's a little bit more advanced topic. I've shown you little things, like I showed you a little bit of Visual Basic, which is a programming language. But here we learn different programming languages and how to write programs to tell the computer what to do. Okay, this is one of our most popular, microcomputers in business. This is where we're going to learn a lot about PC-related software, such as the things I have done on this show. Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint. We do web page design. So a lot of PC-based software that people would use, and of course that are used in business extensively. Then another common one that's pretty popular right now because of the internet is networking and security technologies. We actually have 2 paths you can go on then, stressing either the networking side or the security side. So we have their first year is identical. Okay, so the first year you would take the exact same classes, and then in your second year you would deviate a little bit. One would stress more networking type classes, as I'll describe here, like Cisco classes. And then the other one stresses information assurance and security. So you do things that are related to security, how to secure networks. Again, a lot of Cisco technology there also. So let's take a brief second just to show you a little bit of the smattering of the classes that you might take there. All right, so I have that open here. So for instance, here is our computer programming. Okay, so it's an Associate of Applied Science. And what we're trying to do here is teach you about computers. One of the things is we're not mandated to have the core curriculum in our degrees because they were more for workforce type activities. But we do have requirements of 15 of our hours, so think of that, 5 of our 20 classes have to go to non-computerized classes. And so we can see an example of that, let me see quickly, like speech classes. Okay, fundamentals of effective speech. That's not taught by us, that's taught in another discipline. But you can see, let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit. Okay, but just related to some of the things I have done. So you can see in that degree plan we have advanced spreadsheets. We have operating systems. So we've done a lot of operating system and we've done a lot of spreadsheets on this show. But you can see we have a lot of programming classes. Here's a programming class, Visual Basic Programming, C++ programming. So they're going to get database programming. They're going to get a lot of classes related to that particular degree plan. Then along the way, we have the 1-year certificate. Okay, so at some point, even if you haven't gone all the way to the degree plan, the certificate is a 1 year, so you would be at 33 hours as opposed to the 60 hours for the full degree. So now what we're going to do on this special edition of Computer Train is we're going to go on site and we're going to take a few minutes to show you where all this happens.
I'm Dr. Cristian Servín. I teach computer science here in El Paso Community College. Computer science, computer programming, fundamentals of computer science. What is that called? Well, programming in Java, what is called Python as well. So basically what we do here is we construct software from bottom all the way up. And this software, we create new programs, we create new applications, and the whole purpose of the software is to basically communicate with the user in order to receive some output. Everything these days is based on computer software. So what we do here is develop applications for the computers, for the mobile devices, for anything that basically relates with any mobile device or computers. The computer science courses that we teach here, they're transferable. So basically we offer computer science 1, 2, and 3, which is fundamentals of data structures. And in addition, we teach something called computer machine language that is also transferable. These courses basically are the core of computer science, computer programming. Many students are taking these courses in order to transfer to a 4-year institution or maybe just to become a programmer in the workforce. So this is our very, very good opportunities that we have in El Paso Community College. In addition to the computer programming, we also focus in what we call secure software. So in other words, we are focusing in computer security. What does that mean? It means that in computer science, when we build software, there's also those small situations when hackers or bad hackers can take advantage of the bad programming. So what we do here in these courses is that we specialize in our software to focus in secure software. It means that we consider all vulnerabilities, that potential vulnerabilities that might happen in the code in order to avoid leakage or any kind of interception for the bad hackers. Students who are taking our associate's degrees are pipelining to UTEP or NMSU. One example of evidence of success is students developing research at UTEP or NMSU. We attend to seminars, we attend to workshops, and students get highly motivated to attend to these workshops and these opportunities. And our examples are students attending to internships, for instance, in NASA or in Raytheon. We have in the past students who have attended to several of those internships and came back very successful with a lot of knowledge. Also students who already graduated from UTEP with a bachelor's in science, in computer science, and now they're developing their master's or even PhD degrees. So this pipeline that we're constructing at EPCC helps the students to have opportunities in the workforce, in research, and maybe in academic as well. We have a computer science club that is a beautiful vehicle to have retention and recruitment for students interested in IT and computer science. This computer science club, they have several activities. That they have social activities and they have academic activities. These activities help the students to enhance their programming skills, as well for the social activities to network with other students. These are vehicles that help the students to communicate with other students and with other students who are interested in several activities that they like. For instance, we have an active component called the Hackers Corner, which they meet every Fridays to discuss code or new ideas in computing. We have also other social activities like video game tournaments, and as well as nights of Hackers Corners. So we have several activities that help the students to get together, discuss computing, also program a little bit more on the side, and at the same time help the computer science and IT group to bind together. There's more evidence about students, successful students who are basically attending right now at UTEP or in MSU, taking classes or graduate courses as well. Students who are been attending to seminars, workshops, and symposiums related with computer science and computer programming. We have a set of group of students who are also interested in education, and they help other students to work in problems. We call the peer leaders these days. And the peer leaders basically help other students to enhance computer programming skills. This is outside of the classroom. Basically, we facilitate a classroom for the students in order to they need tutoring or they need more problem-solving skills. So we spend an enormous amount of time focusing on the students' success.
Okay, so that's our programming degree. You can see here's our information technology and business. Lots of personal computer things. Okay, introduction to computers are standard. PC operating assistance again, spreadsheets, all of these which I teach. Operating system security. We've tried to incorporate security into all of our degree plans, such a hot topic right now. Especially networking security is very, very important right now. A lot of networking jobs on the horizon. Okay, and then this one I just wanted to show you where you have two different options. So this one is the networking type one. You can see a lot of Cisco things in there. Local area networks, wide area networks, infrastructure, once again security, configuring networks. And then this one is the security option. Right there. Okay, so you have things like system forensics that you did not have in the other one, security management practices. So a couple classes more related to security. Okay, so that's when you say professor of information technology, that's what I do. And it's interesting, professor, that terminology came about, I don't know, 8 to 10 years ago. We were just called instructors before that, but they wanted to change the titles. If you've been here long enough, you're a full professor. So that's my title now. I asked if there's an increase in pay with the change in title. There wasn't, so I really don't mind what I was called, instructor, professor, whatever you want to call me. If it affects my pay, then I want to know about it. All right, so that's my ballpark, information technology, and I teach classes in all these. I've taught programming, I teach a lot of microcomputers. I used to teach networking, but not as many students as there was in the past. All right, the other thing I wanted to show you here is, again, marketing and doing a little bit of advertising for the college, especially related to cost. If you do cost comparison between a community college and what we call proprietary schools. Proprietary schools are usually those that are for-profit, such as University of Phoenix, Webster University, Southwest University. All of those types of schools, those are for-profit as opposed to community colleges was not for-profit. It's really eye-opening, and I don't think people realize the difference here. So here's an example of a community college, a person taking 15 hours per semester. Okay, so this is in general, depends on the specific courses sometimes if you need certain fees, etc. But tuition itself is going to be about $1,700. All the fees and things like that, you're going to pay about $2,000 per semester. Okay, so if we multiply that out by 4 semesters, remember 60 hours, 15 hours times 4, you would get your 60 hours in 2 years. That's why they're called 2-year degrees. You would pay about $8,000. Remember that a lot of the schools advertise that you can get out of their school much faster. You can do that here at community college also. There's lots of ways to take classes. Okay, so I'm making the assumption you take 15 hours and you take it 4 semesters. But you can take summers also. I didn't mention summers here. So if you took 6 hours in the different summer sessions, you could get out of community college probably in the neighborhood of about, I don't know, 18 months. Okay, maybe even less than that, depending on how much you stacked it up. We also have wide variety of delivery like they do. So we have online classes, We have classes that just meet on Saturday. We have night classes, morning classes. We have a wide variety to fit lots of different schedules. Okay, if we take a look, and this is just an example from a school, and we don't need to mention because they're all kind of the same. This is Associate of Applied Science. Remember, that's what information technology is, Associate of Applied Science. Look at this. They didn't have it broken down by semester or year. This is just a grand total. Okay, so to get that same 60-hour degree, these are both 60 hours. That's mandated by the state of Texas. Look at the difference in cost. $8,000 for community college as opposed to $25,000 in the proprietary school. Okay, so if you're thinking about getting a degree, make sure we start looking at the price tags also. Well, what'd you think of my world? I hope you enjoyed this special edition of Computer Train. I know we got off the topic and I didn't really show you any computer things, but we'll get right back on board in the next show. Make sure you come to college and take a look at our catalog, visit our website for more information, and thank you for joining me again on another edition of Computer Train.